Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, whatever suits your time zone. I offer that to you wholeheartedly, and I hope you accept it with your whole heart as well. Um, it is a Blue Morning Show, another Blue Morning Show, and I hope everybody is doing well. And I'm happy to say that I have somebody who knows the club very well, somebody who understands the club inside out. Stav, welcome back to Chelsea Perspective.
Thanks for having us on again.
More thanks to you, Stav. It's a very, very dark period in our club. A moment that's very heartbreaking to all of us, heartbreaking to the owner. That we all felt bad. I can tell how every Chelsea fan feel right now, given Roman's statement that he is going to sell the club. It's not easy to take, but we just have to deal with it. And I think we'll come back stronger. Like you and Bobby explained the other day, we've been through such periods before. And hopefully Roman will sell the club to somebody who will be just like him, because Roman, he was a fan before he was an owner. And he's proven that with his statement. Big up to Nick Blue in the chat. Nick, let me know if you want to get on. I'll share the link to the chat in a few minutes with you. So, Stav, let's talk about Roman first. Like I've established, Roman was a fan before he was an owner. Over to you, Stav. Please, can you take some time and talk about that? How he, you can tell us how he saved the club, because I read that the club was in financial distress before he bought the club, and then turned things around and even made it one of the, you could say, biggest clubs in England.
Yeah, I mean, he was a football fan first, and he watched, I think, the Champions League final, and he wanted to buy a club, and he looked at Manchester United, but that would have cost far too much to buy, and there were other issues. So the story goes he was flying over Tottenham's ground in a helicopter, took one look at it. This is the tongue-in-cheek story, and thought, no, I don't want that. So, but I think deep down, he must have looked at Man United and saw that it was too big a project at the time. And I think it basically could have been Trevor Birch who got in touch with Bruce Buck. I think they already knew each other and made the proposition. But having had the chance to watch him close up when I was sat behind him at Anderlecht in Belgium, in Brussels, and I watched him in that game when we won 2-0. And you've got to remember, this was like, I think it was the first season that he bought us, and he was into it straight away. He was twitching in his feet. He was like throwing his arms up, celebrating. It was just like a normal fan who's been supporting the club for maybe 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And he is a proper fan. He's a real fan. He's, from what I saw, he's exceptional. And we are going to miss him. And I'm getting emotional again, because I think he's been hard done to and badly treated. And another thing is, I think when he leaves, it's I think everybody's going to go with him. I don't think you're going to end up with the same board. They might get one
Yeah,
or two.
I think we get to that. We get how that can affect the club. Chichi, nah, seriously, I'm not sure what you're asking about. And Fahim, I'd like to welcome you to the stream. How are you doing, brother?
Bro, I'm still feeling just sad about this. Even that we knew that the news was
Yeah.
gonna be announced sooner or later. It's
Mm.
just still hurts. It just still hurts me. It makes me sad that Roman is it's leaving. It's just yeah. I have no words to describe it, to be honest. It's just a bad feeling.
Just see, you've just missed 5 minutes. We haven't gone too much into it. So Fahim, we started by we're trying to establish how Roman he was a fan before he was an owner, and his statement didn't prove anything different. His statement proved that he was more than just a fan. He really loved the sport. He loved the club, and I think he's proven that's even a million times a better person than those that you could argue persecuted him. A better person than they can ever be in their life. They're not even able to do anything to the man who's leading, the aggression against a nation that they believe they're more powerful than. Uh, so for him, Romana, we know, was a fan before he was an owner. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, Roman bought Chelsea Football Club, being as a football fan. He had the choice to buy either Chelsea and I think Tottenham, but
Mm,
I think at that time Chelsea made it top four, so he went for Chelsea. And ever since Roman's bought Chelsea, I remember that I think if I'm not mistaken, he used to go to a lot of the Chelsea games at near the start, but ever since he got banned from the UK, he's not been able to attend the matches. But you could clearly tell from his statement that he was definitely a Chelsea fan. He was definitely a very passionate football fan. You won't get many billionaires and football owners that have the same passion as he has. It's very, very, very rare. You see owners that only care about the money side. They only care about the business side, which is fair. Yeah, I mean, it is a business at the end of the day. But when you have someone like Roman that cares that much and wants to win, has that mentality. It, I mean, you would ever find it in football. It's very hard to find it, and I think moving onwards from Roman, I don't think it'll be the same feeling, because Roman's known for sacking managers. He's known for sacking managers mainly because he wants to win. Well, the new owners, will they ever have that mentality, sacking managers? We want to win all the time. I'm not too sure. That's something we'll definitely miss in the future.
yeah, yeah, we will miss that. But that in itself can be a good thing or a bad thing. But that's by the way. Thank you very much, Fahim, for taking some time to talk about him. Nick Blue, welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. Always a pleasure to have you around. How are you
Yeah,
doing, Nick?
yeah. Hello, chaps. Can you hear me?
Yeah, crystal clear. We could hear you, but it
Yeah,
looks like
good.
you're on the road.
Yeah, I just want to say a few words, and uh, because I'm just sitting on the road.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, look, I remember in 2003, before 2003, when Ken Bates, uh, old owner, he was looking for someone to buy Chelsea, and
Hmm.
Ken Bates was a real Chelsea fan, and he was looking for someone who could take over Chelsea and take them to the next level. It was Ken Bates who made the plans for the new Stamford Bridge before. He done all that, and he was waiting. He done it for the good of Chelsea, and he found Roman. No better owner in the world than Roman. And Roman took over. He's given us a great 20 years success. No one can take his place on earth. And I was very pleased last night at the game. I heard them shouting for once his name, in the match, our fans. And
Hmm.
I I want them to shout even more. I will make sure they do because I'll be there at the next game. And and the thing what got me, I'm really upset. He's really got my nerves going today. Is that what I heard from that bloody Alan Shearer? Did you hear what he said on Match of the Day?
No, go ahead. I did
Ah,
not hear that.
yeah. He said they were talking about Romans, the statement. They were reading the statement, what he made. And Alan Shearer goes, that's all good, but, he might be giving millions to Ukraine, but he was the one of those who was with Putin. How can you say that, bloody hypocrite? What about your Newcastle owners? What are they doing?
Not even that. The fact is, common sense. If he has a brain in his head, he should know. Putin, Abramovich was once a governor in a Russian state. So,
Yes, yeah, but it's
so
nothing
this,
to do
yeah,
with
exactly. So
this regime. And
yeah.
if you have to go back and see it and see Alan Shearer's comments. And I put out I told him to shut his mouth and go to hell, you moron, I said to him. That's what he deserves. You can't talk about a man like that. He's going to put all that money into the Ukraine people. He's
So,
not like that.
Nick, from your experience, and as a long-time Chelsea fan, and as somebody who was there even before Roman Abramovich bought Chelsea Football Club, you witnessed the changes. You witnessed how
Of
he
course.
took the club from the level it was to the level it is right now.
Yeah.
Tell us from your perspective about Roman, the Chelsea fan, and not Roman, the Chelsea owner.
As a fan, yeah, he was a fan, and he still is a fan. He will always be a fan. He loves Chelsea. That's his. He's like us. He's like the same as us. He supports Chelsea. All his family, they love Chelsea. His son loves Chelsea. He won't change from that. I hope one day a miracle happens and he comes back when we get rid of this government we have. But it's a whole. This country is biased, corrupt, and I can't believe what they're doing, what they've done. To make him sell Chelsea. How low can they go?
Yes.
And like I said, I've been there before years before Roman came. I was there before Ken Bates came. I was, when we had Brian Mears as owner. He tried to, he was a good owner as well. Ken Bates took over. He took Chelsea when we were going bankrupt. We were going to go out. The football league. And Ken Bates come in and saved us. Then, he found the right owner to take over because he didn't have the billions to do like what Roman did. So, big up to Roman. I'll never forget you, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I like. We'll try to make it as interactive as possible today because the Blue Money Show is designed to be interactive. It's a fans show, and the comment on the screen reads: "Big up Chelsea perspective. Roman Abramovich needs a statue outside the ground. I think that's for sure. That needs to be done. And it doesn't even need contemplation at all. It needs to be done without even thinking about it.
Yeah,
So what do you think about that comment?
Yeah, for sure, he needs a statue. We have one statue, and that's my great king, the King of Stamford Bridge, Peter Osgood, as you know, and we can put a statue next to him. Roman Abramovich. Put Roman Abramovich next to the king. That's what I say, and I will keep saying it. Yeah.
What do you think about that comment, Stav?
I don't think that's going to happen because
why is that?
Because it's not his way, is it? If it's going to happen, it's going to have to be whoever takes over from. It's not his way. When he first took the club over, when the teams used to come out, used to play the Kalinka, well-known Russian dance thing, right? And the fans all clapped to it. They were all like joining in, and he asked for it to stop because he said it's not. He said it's not about him. It's not about him. He stopped it because it's not his way. It's not about him, and he was very shy. And like I said, I sat behind him once, And then I met him another time round the back of the Matthew Harding when he arrived. And he would like, when he was going into the ground, he would shake people's hands and stuff like that. But he looked really reserved and shy about doing it, but he didn't want to upset anybody. I just don't think it's his way. So I think whoever takes over, the fans need to pressure whoever
The owner.
takes over into doing it.
Yeah,
Roman
because
won't.
if you don't ask for it, it's not
can
going
I
to
ask
be
Stav
done.
something?
Yes, go ahead.
Stav, I know it's not his way, but it's us fans. We have to pressure Chelsea,
I
whoever
agree.
takes over, to do that. He has to have a statue there. I know he
Yeah.
won't want that. He's very, we know how he is, and it'd be great to do that for him, just to show this stupid government what we're about.
It's there's a
Now
lot.
let's move more. We've established that the man. It's important that we establish that the man was a fan before he was an owner. I'm just going to read his statement, and I'm going to try as much as possible. I think I'll be fine today, but it really broke my heart yesterday. And I couldn't even finish it at the go. I had to stop to hold myself, hold my emotions, control my emotions before I continued. It was the same for so many of us. I understand. So the statement that is clearly that is highlights the fact that the man was a fan even before he was an owner. So the statement reads, I would like to address the speculations in media over the past few days in relation to my ownership of Chelsea Football Club. I have stated before, maybe I don't know if I share the screen, it will be an issue. The statement on the club website, I don't want any copyright issue, but let's just listen. I have always taken decisions with the club's best interest at heart. In the current situation, I have therefore taken a decision to sell the club as I believe this is the best interest of the club, the fans, the employees, as well as the club's sponsors and partners. The sale of Chelsea will not be fast-tracked. And Astav, I think you did say something about that before. He's not going to sell it in a rush, but will follow due process. I will not be asking for any loans to be I will not be asking for any loans to be repaid. It's important that we talk about that part where he said that he will not be asking for any loans to be repaid. It is very, very critical that for him not to be asking for any loans to be repaid, that clearly shows he's not, he's not, he doesn't have much ties to Vladimir Putin like we thought he has. Because if he has that much of a tie with Putin, he'd ask him to make sure he bankrupts the club because it will affect the British economy. Even to the tiniest bit of percentage, it is something. What do you think, Stav? Let me start with Fahim. Fahim, what do you think? Because some people thought it was going to come to that.
Sorry, what was the question again?
No, that part that reads that's where he says he will not be calling in the loan, the money that clubs, he will not ask. That is, I will not be asking for any loans to be repaid. Because if he does, that can bankrupt the club. But he says he's not doing it. That's part of the statement. Because that was a financial analyst for, I think, was it for Forbes, that said, worst come to worst, that Roman Abramovich could call in the loan, and then that will bankrupt the club, and then Putin will come out and say, you started the problems. Because it's becoming a global, it's already become, the crisis in Ukraine has already become a global issue. So if Russia, if Roman was really in a good relationship with Putin, Putin could use him and force him to say, no, you got to bankrupt the club. You don't do that. You don't forgive them the loan. I don't know if you understand, because the British government have already sanctioned they've already sanctioned Russia. So what do you think?
I mean, to be honest, I don't really know much about it, but Roman obviously not asking for the loan to for the money to be paid back. I mean, it's a huge thing for the club actually, because if he has the right to actually to say that I want this loan to be repaid back, he has the right, but
Hmm.
he chose not to. So I mean, I think it takes a lot of courage and balls to actually to accept that amount of money being gone from your bank account. But to be honest, the Roman is was always a football fan. It was never about money to him, apparently.
Yeah, Stav, what do you think about him saying that he will not be asking for the loans to be repaid? And it's not the loan. It's not like 150 million. It's not like 200 million. It's not like even $1 billion. It's $2 billion plus. Stav, are you there? All right,
Yeah,
Nick, are
yeah.
you still with us? Yeah, go ahead, Stav. You heard
No,
my question,
no,
I
I'm
believe.
still here.
Okay, you heard. Yeah.
If Nick's there, let him answer first because he's in the car, isn't he?
Sorry.
I said, if Nick's still there, ask his opinion because he's driving, isn't he? He's in the car.
Yeah, Nick, are you still there with us? Go ahead, Stav. Whenever he comes back, we'll let him talk.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that I've always said that he wouldn't do anything to harm the club. Right? I've said it all along. No matter what happens, he wouldn't do anything to harm the club. What I find disgusting, right, is that the English media and football pundits and all this lot, they're all trying to find a way of attacking him even for that. I watched just now before I came on Talk Sport from yesterday morning, and they were saying, "Oh, the club's finished. The club's finished." Right? He'll want that money back. He'll want that money back. It shows they've got. There's two things. There's one side they've got no understanding, right, of the level of the man's love for the club, and the other thing is nasty, vindictive people who want it to happen, who want to see Chelsea destroyed, right? There was Trevor Sinclair, who was Man City, right? And he was smirking all the way through the show, right? And I've said all along, he will not do anything that will harm the club, even if he decided to sell, right? I knew he wouldn't expect that money back. If he wanted the money back, he would have just put it into the price, right? Which would have made it more difficult to sell. But because he now needs to do it quickly, right? He's not going to adapt to the price for the sale, and he's letting it go. And to throw £1.5 billion, I'll speak in pounds because that's English currency, right, into the dustbin, which is what he's done, right, and then give the rest any money that he gets for the club, give it to Ukrainians, right?
Well, we'll get to that. I just want us to
I just
clearly,
can't.
that is, to analyze what each because he did two things that I believe
Well,
only a few people in the world would do. Just so let's stick with this comment here that says, "I will not be asking for any loans to be repaid." We'll get to what he wants to do with whatever money he gets from the sale of the club. But we're talking about just what
I
this
told you.
means. Yeah.
I told you that. I told you that. Whatever happened, I've told you before, right? Whatever happened, right? He would not kill the club, and if he asks for that money, he's going to kill the club. That's not why. That's not Roman. It's not why he's there, right? So I never ever expected him to ask for it anyway. I knew he wouldn't, because it's not the way he is. Just because you,
Yes, and yes, I must commend you because you did say before time. Because I have to be honest, I was afraid that it could get to that if in fact he has connections with Putin, that Putin would force him to bankrupt the club so that to hand the British economy, no matter how small that may be. To me, I see it two ways. One, it clearly shows that he has no connection with Putin, as Vladimir Putin, as people have portrayed him to be. That they actually portray him that he's one of those that he like it's like he sits at a round table and plan all this bad stuff with Putin, and then he gets executed. I don't know how else to put it. The second thing is that the man is kind-hearted, and he loves Chelsea through and through, and wouldn't do anything to harm the club, like the staff said. So, coming to you, Nick Blue, what do you think about that? That the fact that he's clearly stated that he will not be asking for any loans to be repaid, and this is not $1 million, it's not $200 million, it's not $1 billion, it's 2-point-something billion dollars.
Yeah, it just shows what a man he is. I knew he'd do that. He's not for money. He never has been, like Stav said. He loves this club, and he always will love this club. And look, who else does what he's going to do? Plus, he's going to give, all these billions to the Ukrainian people to help them. So how can this British government do this to him? This makes me sick, like I said. I can't understand these people. But they let that Newcastle owner do what he wants. And look what, how many people is he killing? Like Stav said before. It's all down, it's all down because American and British will never change. They want to rule the world and do what they want. And they use anyone to do it to. It's just unbelievable. I live in this country, but I hate these politicians. And the
the hypocrisy is really crazy. Let's just stick what we're talking about. Let them not take away, because you could argue what we're doing here is that we're celebrating a great man.
Yes.
We're celebrating a man that loved our club wholeheartedly. We're celebrating a man that took our club to the level it was and brought it to an even higher level that that's one of the most hated clubs in the UK because of our success, and it all comes down to what Roman has done for our club. So let's not let the politicians and the media distract us. Let's talk about the man we love. Let's celebrate him. I know it is painful, but let's celebrate him. So
it's very painful, I know.
Yes, exactly. Bring it back to the statement that I will not be asking for any loans to be repaid. What does that really mean to you, Nick Blue?
Yeah. Like I said, it just shows what a man, what a man he is. It's nothing to do, he's a billionaire, but he's got a heart. He's got a heart, and he's not like all these other billionaires we know. And, because he's that sort of man, who would do this. Just, great man. And
yeah, he is.
And I was going to say, I forgot what I was going to say before now. Oh God, I forgot. I was going to say something else about it. And look, and he's going to, like I said, he's going to give all that money to Ukraine as well.
Yeah, we'll get to that, because that's a different. I think I took my time to analyze this statement.
Yeah, I see the statement.
Exactly. Each part of the statement means a lot, and shows something, and it debunks the rumors and the nonsense they're saying about his relationship to Putin. Okay, let me just continue.
The problem is
go ahead.
After the statement, like on Match of the Day, Lineker and Lineker didn't say anything bad about him, but that Shearer, he saw the statement. What a great man! What a great statement! But he still comes out with these shit words, about him, saying he's Putin's right-hand man. What's he on about? Flipping.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I think that the statement, what the man himself did, debunks that is the narrative. The narrative that he's put in right hand man. So let's continue reading. Reading the statement. Yeah. So the other part of the statement reads, "This has never been about business, nor money for me, but about pure passion for the game and the club. Moreover," listen to this now. "Moreover, I have instructed my team to set up a charitable foundation where all net proceeds from the sale will be donated." That's part one. Look at the second part now. This is the part that debunks the narrative that he is Putin's right-hand man. It reads, the foundation will be for the benefit of all victims of the war. It says in Ukraine. He did not say in Russia. He did not say in Russia and Ukraine. The statement specifically says for the victims in Ukraine, as well as supporting the long-term work of recovery in Ukraine. So if this man is Putin's right-hand man, doing this will technically mean he's opposing Putin. But of course, those that are saying nonsense in the media, or as panelists or as pundits, I don't know if they use their brains at all.
They don't have brains, Coach.
Exactly. So even if you're not educated, you should know, because this is common sense. The statement again, I will read. It reads, the foundation will be for the benefit of all victims of the war in Ukraine. The man that is doing this is Russian. The man that is doing this is the same man they're saying is Putin's right-hand man. The same man they're accusing of being complicit to the crisis. How is that possible? How can he be part of the whole plan and then be opposing the plan technically?
Yeah, it's not, that's what's hard to believe. It's only Shira who come out with this.
Exactly. So the fact remains, if you want to win the war, you want them to suffer. So he's practically saying, I'm not part of this. What else can the man do for you to understand that he's not part of it? I know this. Yeah, exactly. They won't even listen.
He's tried everything. He's tried. Yeah. He got the talks started. He's trying to make peace. He's trying everything he can do, and they don't see it. They don't see it. These people. I can't believe these people. Honestly.
Yeah, and for Tobago, yes, no one is perfect, but at least when we do stuff, we should be able to justify our action. How can we? I'm just going to try to touch that topic on a surface level, not to go into politics, because like I said before, we're here to celebrate a man we love so much because of how much love he showed to our club, because of how much he's done for our club, and even to the end, he's still fighting for a club. First, he distanced himself from our club because a cup final was coming up then, right? His first statement came out before the cup final, right?
Yes.
That was a calculated move, just to make sure the club performs.
But he was criticised for that as well. He was criticised for that.
Yeah, he was criticised. Anything he does is criticised.
Exactly. Yeah, but we shouldn't look at it from the perspective of those that are against us, because it will forever be Chelsea and against the rest, no matter how we see it. So we're here to celebrate the man. So we're just going to forget about what the media is saying. I was going to say something about the Saudis and the other people that bought Newcastle United, about their human rights records and all that. Nobody talks about that. But like I said,
because they pay the
exactly.
government.
I was going to just touch on that on a surface level. There's a lot that's going on.
How do you think they've done that deal? They paid
exactly.
To do that deal.
So they didn't. They did nothing about that, and they are just punishing a man who has contributed to the British economy in a big way, who helped the NHS at the peak of the pandemic.
You're spot on.
Exactly. Kept them in his hotel room. In his hotel rooms, he footed the bill himself, fed them, donated money, and Chelsea emerged as one of the most generous clubs in the UK in 2020. Chelsea fights against racism. Chelsea leads the fight against anti-Semitism. Chelsea fights against discrimination of all sorts.
Yes.
And yet, that's the man they chose to try to make example of. I think history will not be kind to them. Because we live in a free world, and then with time,
it's like they want to crucify him like they did to Jesus.
Yes,
so same sort of thing. Exactly the same for me.
Yes, and then with time, we will find out that they are bad people. That the man actually is even a better person than they will ever be in their life.
Never.
Yeah. So, but that's by the way. coming to you, Fahim, what do you think about this part of that statement? The fact that whatever that is, all the proceeds from the sale of the club will go to the victims of the Ukraine crisis, of the crisis in Ukraine. He did not say in Russia, his home country. He said in Ukraine.
Exactly.
Up to you, Fahim.
What you just said, you guys are absolutely spot on. Roman was always going to be this sort of person where he would donate, create charities. You know, during the pandemic, he allowed the Stamford Bridge to become a vaccination center, a help center for the NHS workers, and this and that. So, and it's not, and people believe, thinking that, oh, this is just him doing it at this moment because of, oh, he's just rushing and he's selling a club. Everyone, they think that it's PR. They think it's PR, but Roman has always been like this since day one. He's always been this sort of person who wants to help the community. He wants to build a good community. He's a nice person. Right, people believe, like, I understand that billionaires, they do a lot of dodgy stuff. To become a billionaire,
You're
but that
spot on.
doesn't mean
Sorry.
that he's not a nice person or he's not a kind person. He's not kind to his wife. It still means that, okay, yeah, you've done dodgy stuff, but it doesn't mean you're a bad person necessarily. He's got a good
Another
heart.
thing, sorry, what's your name again?
Fahim.
Well, Fahim. Yeah. Another thing is, I'll just remember now what I was going to say. The other thing is, oh God, I forgot again now.
You can always come in. You can always come in whenever you remember what you want to say. It happens to all of us.
Carry on, sorry.
Yeah, carry on, Fahim.
And you know what? Nick Blue mentioned about Gary Neville and Alan Shearer. I was watching that as well. You know what? Gary Lineker even tweeted something on Twitter saying, "Oh, Luton fans saying or chanting, you're sold in the morning," and this and that. And he's pretty much saying, but he's not really acknowledging or tweeting about stuff that the Luton fans were chanting about homophobic stuff to the players and to the Chelsea fans.
They
Gary
usually.
Lineker is a prick, to me, man. He's a prick. And so
Yeah,
is Alan Shearer.
that highlights the hypocrisy. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, what I'm saying is that people believe that he's still like this person that is connected to the war, but he's not been connected to Putin for a very, very long time. Just because he's Russian and just because they were connected before doesn't mean he's still like part of it. He's never said that. Oh, I agree to the war. He's never said that, right? And then there's
The
people.
man has lived in Israel for a long time now. And,
Yes.
But go ahead.
He's never agreed to say, "Oh, I want a war. I want a war in Ukraine." That's Putin, not Roman. But people believe, oh, he's part of it just because, oh, he's friends. I don't know if they're still friends, but people assume that they're friends, and because he's Russian, that he's part of the war. But we don't know. And by the looks of it, by the looks of what he's done for the club and what he's done for the community and what he's doing right now for the foundation,
Ukrainian people.
it is clear that he has no part in this war with Putin. He is totally against it, and he wants to create peace. That was always the thing. And people just don't
I mean,
believe
who gives up 2 point something billion dollars
exactly.
just like that? And you said he's Putin's right hand man, and he's supporting Putin's enemy.
Yeah,
Because no matter how you see it, Ukrainians at this moment are Putin's enemies, and he's supporting them. And he did it for the whole world. If anybody who's saying nonsense about this man has some matter of brains in their head, this alone debunks that narrative that the man is Putin's right hand man. He's not.
When's the last time they had like a photo together? Like when did they have a
for Christ's
togetherness
sake?
one?
Great point, brother. For Christ's sake, the man was a governor in a Russian state. So common sense, he'd have contact with the man, meetings with the man. Sam, please, can you come in here?
The other thing is, I just remember now.
Yes,
Yeah, the
yes.
other thing is, I'm sure he will do this. I think I have a good feeling. Whoever he sells a club to, he's gonna make sure it's someone about who likes football, loves football.
Yeah,
He
that's for
won't
sure.
just
That's for sure.
he
Don't give
won't
that
just
away, Nick.
he
We'll
ain't
get
gonna
to that
yeah
segment.
yeah. That's what I'm sure he's gonna do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Can you, yeah, can you
Yeah.
come in, stop? Thank you very much for that input, Nick. And please be sure you're watching where you're going. We love you. We want you to be safe. To be safe. Yeah, go ahead, Stav.
Yeah, people have their own narratives. They have their own agendas, right? Because they want to look good. So because they want to look good, let's knock down this person. Now, for 20 years nearly, we've had to put up with this. Oh, I hope you're happy with your Russian blood money and things like that, right? Mafia money, right? No one's ever proven that he's mafia. No one. I mean, the guy, right, was walking around with SAS, ex-SAS bodyguards. If he was mafia, right, he wouldn't be walking around with bodyguards because he knew he was a target, right? Just because he became a billionaire doesn't mean he did anything bad. What he did was just like all the other oligarchs, right? And what I hate is this word oligarch, right? I hate this word oligarch. That oligarchs, right, who are Greek, right, shipping magnates. There are oligarchs in America. There are oligarchs in Britain, right? There's billionaires everywhere, but they've turned it into a Russian thing by using the word oligarch. No billionaire, right, has ever become a billionaire, right, without that. I don't want to. I don't want to give them the oxygen, right, without like doing the odd dodgy thing, right. But by dodgy, Roman, right, like the rest of them, got businesses on the cheap when the old USSR broke up. That's the only dodgy thing he did. He got a business on the cheap, which was a floundering business, right, which wasn't working under communism, right, built it up, employed Russian people, right, and then he pumped in $2 billion into the Coachila region of his own money, right? It was a region that was so depressed and so poor, and he put in $2 billion. He bought the ice hockey club because, obviously, being Russian, he's going to likely be an ice hockey fan as well. And that region had a ice hockey club, which he bought, made successful, right? Because it gave the people in that region something to make them happy, right? He spent millions upon millions on charities in Moscow, right? And look what he's done for the area around Stamford Bridge, southwest London, and wherever, right? And I'll tell you something, these idiots who've been trying to chase him out, right? Yeah, they've chased him out, they're going to get their way, but the next owner who comes in will not retain that foundation that currently exists for all those charities. They will not make the same effort, right, to look after, like, women who are being battered, children who are starving, things to do to help kids play football, like to have a better life. No new owner is going to do that. No new owner is going to do that. And these idiots, right, who wanted him out, the politicians, right, they've now deprived the area, right, of all that good work that the club did on his instructions, right? They're depriving their own people. And this is a government, right, that doesn't feed its own starving children. This is a government. While that government was sending elderly people from hospital into care homes to die and spread the disease, right, he was helping NHS staff, as you said, and he apparently, I've read somewhere else now, that he was buying PPE for that hospital in that area, right? Well, what's the matter with these people? Now, I can't totally put the blame just on the Conservative government, right? I can't
Okay,
just
stop.
blame them.
Let me say this again. We have to. You really you wanted me to calm down yesterday when I broke down,
It's
and
going to get
I'm
bombed.
calm now. But it looks like you're trying to send me back to that
No,
zone again, and I don't
you
want. No,
want
no.
to discuss the man.
I'm just. No, no. We're just talking. Let's
No, you
keep
want to discuss
celebrating
the
the
man.
man. Let's
You want
keep
to discuss the man.
celebrating. Yeah, I
I am
understand. Let's keep.
celebrating the man. I'm
Yes,
making the point of what he's
yes.
given
Go
to the
ahead.
local community, right? I am celebrating the man. And not only is Chelsea not going to find an owner like him, the
And we get to that,
community.
So don't give away the next segment of the show.
Yeah,
So
go on.
okay, yeah. Now, thank you again. And I said that in as I meant it, honestly, when I said it. The more you talk about the man, things he's done, and how he's helped the British community, the global community,
Coach, can I say
it
one
touches
thing?
me. Yes.
You see, people don't really. Doesn't really speak a lot to the media,
He hardly
and
does.
and people assume the worst. But when you do speak to the media, they still believe, oh, that it's lies. But and then there's a saying that action speaks louder than words. And his actions of building a foundation for the victims of the Ukraine, the war, and then the NHS, and then anti-Semitism, it speaks louder than everything people just
Mm.
say. When people say, "Oh, I don't want, I condemned people in the Ukraine war," that's good, but try do something about it. And Roman has done something, and it's much bigger than just speaking.
Roman has done more than those people pushing for those sanctions, those people that trying to make his life difficult than they will ever do
Yeah,
for
yeah,
people.
The
yeah.
people, the people, the people who next month are going to get a £2,200 pay rise, right? That same people. Let's see if they donate that pay rise to the Ukrainian people.
Yeah,
Because
maybe they will
I
give
went
you
on the
their lives.
website. I
Yeah.
went on the website and
Mhm.
I suggested they do it. I said, come on then, stop talk is cheap. Donate your
Yeah.
pay rise to
They'll
Ukrainian
give
people.
you their savings. So for him, Rando, so that I can bring in Declad in, he made a very, very crucial point here in the chat that I'd like him to talk about. Fahim, go ahead with your thoughts so I can bring in Declad. And by the way, blue morning to all of you in the chat. I know it's still it's 11:47 in the UK, so I have every right to say blue morning now to DJ Saab, Mikhail, Declad, you already on the panel, Just Viola, and everybody else, Tobago, Talks. I appreciate you all. You provide great value to the stream. Go ahead, round up. You can round us out, bring in Declad, Fahim.
You, I mean, like I said before, Roman. I don't even know what Roman really sounds like, because he doesn't really speak much. But his actions obviously speak a lot louder. So people obviously will be against Roman all the time because of the fact that he's a Russian. They think that he's still got connections, but it doesn't mean he's still for the war. He's against it, and you could clearly see by his actions that he's completely against the war. But you won't get that mentioned in the media. They always think it's the opposite. They always think it's for something else he's doing it for. They think it's PR, but what can you do? I mean, if they
You
think it's
can't you
PR,
can't you
then
can't risk this such PR against a man who was able to send spies, who was able to send operatives into the UK to poison somebody. And
exactly.
Romania is not even a country. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm asking, how do these people think? Do they even have brain matters in their head? You
No,
cannot do
you know what it is,
such
coach.
PR
Coach,
against Putin and get away with it. So this
it,
is
gi-
no PR.
it gives them reputation. That's what they like. They want attention. They're following the trend of, oh, let's show that this person is not the greatest person. That's what they like. They want to show that they're just jealous. They're jealous. They're hypocrites, and you do get these people in the media. But it is what it is, man. I don't really care about
Yes,
these people.
yes, that's great input for him. That's why you're a smart guy. And everybody in the chat, if you haven't, please go check out CFC for him. It's a great channel. I think it's one of those channels that's always objective. It's not clickbaiting. He does his research before producing content and says it as it is. Believe me, if you check out his content, I think you will like it. Let's support such channels so that we can gradually phase away channels that the the Chelsea fan base and get them to behave like they're not humans. But that's by the way. So please go check out CFC for him, a great channel. So Declan, before I come, I'll come to you now. And first, I'd like you to take a minute to say something about Roman the fan, Roman the man, if you like, because he was a fan before he became an owner. Then you can tell us about that. Your comment about his this comment here, because it makes sense to me. This comment shows the guy is actually a victim of the war, if you ask me.
Hey there, everyone. I honestly came in, Coach, because just to keep Nick Blue honest, because sometimes he needs a bit of a check. But with this statement,
Do you want me to highlight the statement?
So
okay, on the screen. Okay, go ahead.
Who talked before me? He was addressing something.
I think it was Fahim.
Yeah, for what Fahim was saying, it's not, and what you said too. It's not jealousy in this stat. When it comes to Russian news, when anything happened with the Russian stuff, Roman is the biggest name in UK. Whether he's innocent or guilty or anything, right? He's the biggest name. So they could talk about some other Russian. No one will care. No one's going to care. You talk about some no-name, yeah? They're not going to care. But Roman is so popular there. The name Roman Abramovich is so popular with football culture. Even the football news talks about the Ukraine. They can ask Tuchel so much questions. They clearly made him a target. Not that he has any involvement. And they can follow on what they did in 2019. This started ages ago. This started 3 years ago when they cancelled his visa, right? So when the media hypes it up and makes him the target man, right? Well, then the governors got pressure and they got to act. No one says, Boris Johnson and Roman actually have ties. No one brings them up. You know what I mean? Boris Johnson, he kind of sat quiet. He's not going to say nothing. But when there's pressure, then politicians starts talking. The media winds up. They can pick someone who the target man is, and Roman Abramovich's name sells stories, regardless of the way you look at it. I can make up another name. The Everton part owner got his assets frozen, yeah, and no one cares about that story. No, people barely even know about that. And there could be other Russians. Apparently there's heaps of oligarchs that live in the UK, right? And if they can bring up that name, you can Drogov, right? I'll just make up a name. If Drogov was this big, involved in the war, and he was a big target by the intelligence of the UK, and the media said his name, no one will give a crap, right? But Roman's name sells papers, right? And like I brought up, Roman's actually has big ties to Ukraine. They don't say that. His grandparents are Jewish, right? And his parents were born in Ukraine. He was raised in Ukraine. He has more Ukraine ties than Russia. Russian ties is that he made his money from there, right? And still has business there. That's it. So he has Ukraine ties that were never brought up, right? Because it doesn't fit the narrative that they're trying to spin. They're trying to say that this man has involvement in the war. And now, and what Fadim said, actions speak louder than words. He's going to give the Chelsea money straight to the victims. He's there. He's doing way more than what the UK media painting the picture for. So I hope that splashes back in the face, and I hope they can shed a light, because some people are trying to say that means he's guilty. The fact that he's leaving, he's guilty. So people are trying to spin it now that his good deeds are coming from guilt, not from
Oh my goodness.
what I mentioned, that he has ties in Ukraine. So he's Ukrainian. No one ever says that.
Yeah, I think it's
So yeah,
concerning. It's concerning. I
it's a
think you make
spin.
a great. I don't know if you're done, but go ahead if you're not done, Declan.
No, it's pretty much done. I was just saying that you guys got to take into account. I know there's a massive hypocrisy with other owners, and you guys got to take this into account now because this could be the president of the standard when it comes to that check. What's the check called again? The fitness check of new owners.
They have. Has it been sold already?
No, no, no. You know when a new owner has to buy, he's going to buy a club in the EPL, and they said they got to fit a test. I forgot what that was. Just
The
having brain fire
background
at the
checks
moment.
or something. I'm not sure what that
Yeah,
is
you know the
called. I'm
background
not.
checks. You know the one that the whole
Mm-hmm,
Saudi custodian went through just now, and it was a big
mm-hmm,
deal.
mm-hmm.
The fitness test.
To do with the Premier League or something.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Premier
yeah.
League. So any
The
owner that wants to buy it has to pass some kind
suitability
of
check.
character test. I forgot there was a name for it. Just to cross my mind.
Suitability.
So
But I get your
yeah,
point
you
there,
get
and
what I'm saying.
declared. Yeah,
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I was
Go
just
ahead.
going to add to it that all the new people that all the parties that want to buy Chelsea now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think some of those parties aren't that interested because of what happened to Roman. The fact that we're getting very American, British and some European, and we're not getting much Arab interest because what the UK done can do, what the UK done to Roman, they could do to any almost any billionaire because every billionaire has some kind of blood on their hand or some kind of corruption or they just play the game and
Mm-hmm.
they can
Mm-hmm.
be frozen out just like everyone else. So I think this takes away from some of the owners that want to buy it. And it's a very scary feeling that you see some of the owners like in the EPL, and you don't because we've been so spoiled with Roman. I don't want to be in the near future calling for owners' heads
Yeah, I
because that'll be a
think
bad time.
declared. I mean, I feel like I owe you a bottle of beer before now is two. Um, Honestly, this is a great input, and I can see you're very tense because you're not happy emotionally. Just like we're all, emotions are running high now because it's a very dark period for our club. But we're celebrating the man. And this input right here, I think I must not forget. It says media has number on Roman. The guy's grandparents are Jewish, and his parents were born in Ukraine. Roman was born and raised in Ukraine. He has more of a connection to Ukraine than Russia, and yet they don't talk about that. All they know is that he has a connection with Vladimir Putin. And I think the fact remains that what he's done right now shows them if they have some brain in their head, they will understand that this man is in no way connected to Putin. At least now he's not, because she cannot be opposing his war, his fight, and he's trying to make them suffer. And he did something to help them survive. I don't think Putin would like that. So that shows clearly he has no connection with him. So let's just go through the whole statement, and then we can go to the next segment of the show. And Declare, thank you very much for that very important input right there. That means a lot to the stream. And it reads, please know that this has been an incredibly difficult decision to make. And it pains me to part with the club in this manner. However, I do believe this is the best interest of the club. Yes. Like again, we've established how much he loved the club. And then he reads again, I hope that I will be, this is heartbreaking for me. I hope that I will be able to visit Stamford Bridge one last time to say goodbye to all of you in person. No, I'm not going to cry again today. It has been a privilege of a lifetime to be part of Chelsea FC, and I'm proud of all our joint achievement. Chelsea Football Club and its supporters will always be in my heart. So for just Declare anything you want to say, because you joined us late, about this final part of the comment so that we can switch to the next segment and round off.
I should I'll try to add some positives because it's all doom and gloom at the moment.
Okay.
Because after there is the only little positives I could find. I'm not going to say there's no, because the chances of getting another owner like Roman are slim or none, slim to none, and we've been spoiled. But I'm hoping that someone comes in, doesn't use us for money. And the positive I can see is that if an owner comes in that is not that familiar with football, and I think he puts more trust in Tuchel, and Tuchel has more influence in the club, and he can get his players more patient. Not saying that it wouldn't under Roman, but you never know. Sometimes Tuchel could be sacked under the way we're going.
Hmm.
Sometimes, but I think a new owner will come in, make an impression, want to make an impression at the start, so we could have a very good transfer window, right? If the sale happens quick, for one, they might want a statement to win back the fans. We could get statement signings, and if Tuchel, because I rate Tuchel that highly, that if he gets such an influence over this club, gets what he get time and patience and his players, I think that there's a big positive in that, and we can at least move forward well with that step.
Yeah, that's just, I think you make great sense there. So now I'm going to play just the intro one more time, then we can just switch to the next segment of the show. Are we guys good with that?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, I guess it's a yes. Okay. Yes, so guys, now we're going to talk about the potential buyers because it's something that the club will be sold. But if that changes, I'd be very, very happy. So we'll take a look. And please, again, we have Ty Talks in the chat. If you haven't subscribed to his channel, I think you should go check it out. Ty Talks is he has a YouTube channel, and it's a very, very good YouTube channel. He's a kid, but he's very knowledgeable in terms of football, tactical and otherwise. So if you haven't, go check out his channel. Subscribe to his channel if you haven't. I think you will like it. So now, the potential buyers include, I don't know how you pronounce his name, the Swiss billionaire. I think it's pronounced Wyss. It's spelled the last name is spelled Wyss. His his worth is I think it's 4 billion pounds. Stephen Ross, 6 billion pounds. The Saudi prince, how do you pronounce his name again? Bin Alal or something like that. He's I think he's the richest of all, around 19 billion. Okay, Al Walid bin Talal, 19 billion, and then we have Todd Bowley, 4 billion. Jim Ratcliffe, the British man, 6.33 billion pounds. So out of these owners, I think Roman wouldn't just sell with anybody. I think that has been always been our concern. I think he will be careful who he sells the club to, more importantly, because he would want to see the club to still continue to be successful even after he's gone. So what do you guys think about this list of owners? Or if you have any that I don't have in the list, you can go ahead and talk about it. I'll start with you, Fahim.
To be honest, I don't know much information about the owners. But with the Swiss guy, I heard that it's a consortium, so a group of owners coming together to buy Chelsea Football Club. Me, Jay, and Antonio did a discussion yesterday whether that they're apparently leading the race. Like the Swiss guys. That a consortium could be formed. With Chelsea Football Club. So we were discussing that. That if that happens, that means they may bring in a DOF, a director of football, to control
Mm-hmm.
all the football transfers. Mainly because they probably don't know much about football, so they want to bring in someone that will control that side, whilst they do the business side as well. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It could go either. It could go either way with the consortium thing because with that you have people that you can have owners that will disagree with each other. They don't agree with decisions, and that can cause tension. That could cause disagreements, which we don't really want. We don't want to create drama, but it could go both ways. It's very uncertain.
Yeah, I think you make a good point there. But from the list, that is, who do you favor the most?
I'm not really, to be honest. I don't. The thing is, I don't know much about them, so I don't really have like a favorite sort of owner to take over. Uh, I just want Roman to make that decision because he would probably know them even better. So they'd probably know that whether they're best fit for the club, because that's what he wants. He wants an owner that will take care of the club and
Hmm.
not just take the business side of it.
Thank you for that. Nick, how about you? Who's your first choice from the list? Or if you
Yeah,
know anybody that we haven't added to the list, you go ahead and talk about it.
yeah. Well, I don't know. It's like Harry Hazimi said. We don't know much about them. What I hear, we don't know. I don't know much about any owner really at the
Hmm.
moment. But all I want is for Roman to, decide, and I'm sure he's going to choose the right one. And like I said before, someone who loves football. We don't want any owners like Newcastle's or anyone else, or United's or Liverpool's or Arsenal. We don't want. That's what we don't want. We know what we don't want, but we don't know what we're going to have yet.
Yeah, I think we cannot tell who buys it, but we're hopeful. To me, I'll say my choice that I'll let staff go first, then I'll talk about who I would really
Yeah.
want to buy the club. Go ahead, staff.
No, I'm interested in who you think you would like to buy the club first.
Before you talk, okay. Before I
Yeah.
start talking, I'm gonna highlight this from this one here from DJ South 17, and here's my reason. We want an owner who's rich, who's not buying the club as an investment. Even if they're buying the club as an investment, their immediate how do I phrase it, move wouldn't, that is that's profit wouldn't be there. That is what they'd be seeking at this point. If you ask me, the Saudi prince, he's very rich. I think he's just seeking global influence. He's seeking to, you could say, global recognition at this point. It's not about money for him. I think he would want the club to be successful for us. And then in the future, he could maybe start looking into making some profit from the club, or maybe sell it to another person. I think the Saudi prince is the most, I think, that you could, for me, the most qualified candidate in terms of what I'm looking for in an owner. Unfortunately, it doesn't come down to what I want or what we the fans want, but we know what we want: an owner who would not put profit first, because if that happens, a lot can go wrong. If we get an owner that is profit focused, then we'll become another Arsenal or another, what other club again? Another, you could say Tottenham or so. So for me, the Saudi Prince is my first choice.
Yeah, I thought it would be. Okay. Can I do?
Okay, let me go to Declare first. Declare, how about you?
Like I was saying, I think some of the Saudi prince names might stand back. I'm not happy with a lot of the choices, because they all sound like they need investors. They're all parties. Some of consortiums.
Mm.
You can tell everyone's just trying to hop on opportunistic to make
Mhm.
to make money. But at the same time, that a club like Chelsea doesn't come on sale very easily. So the great thing is that everyone is trying to get in on it. Roman has wiped out debt. He's not starting a bidding war, and he's going to find the right people. And I think that the person hasn't shown his head yet. I think what Roman respects a lot is someone that's not in the limelight, like that Swiss guy already starting quotes and already went to the media to draw up hype. That's someone that looks for attention. I think what Roman respects a lot is privacy, and if someone private out there wants, similar to Roman, wants to own a club but not be in the limelight as well, I think that goes a long way, and I think our suitor hasn't shown himself yet.
Who? The Saudi prince?
Right,
No,
is one of them.
the suitor. I'm saying that the potential owner
Oh, the suitors.
hasn't
Okay,
been there.
okay, okay,
Yep.
okay. Yeah, now I understand. So, how about you, Stav?
Right. I just want to give a bit of background before I give you my reasons. Right. Every Wednesday, the Parliament meets and there's Prime Minister's question time. Right. And they ask the Prime Minister questions. And to be honest with you, right, the worst ones have been the opposition Labour Party, right, and they're using Roman as a political pawn, right, and they're using him because he's the biggest name, like the clerk said, right, and basically he's been bounced backwards and forwards between the two sections of Parliament. Now, if you remember rightly, I said last week that they don't even have the legislation in place, right, to take property, money, and all that kind of stuff off the oligarchs, right? Off anyone, not just the oligarchs, right? And they don't. They're supposed to be discussing the bill on Monday with regards to such things, yeah? And they're supposed to discuss it in Parliament, vote on it, and Starmer, the Labour leader, said yesterday that, can you just get on with it? He said, we'll back it, get it passed on Monday, and let's move it quickly. But the government, right, are going to stretch it over 18 months, okay? So a lot of Russians, oligarchs, Arabs, whatever, will have 18 months if they're a bit dubious, right? I'm not saying Roman's dubious, to get their money out and sell their property. So Roman knows this, and this is why he said they're going to do it properly, okay, and take its time. And it could still be in place even in the summer. So we don't know what's going to happen there. So it's not something that could happen overnight. So that's just the background, okay? I don't want the Swiss guy. Like the clerk said, he's been too gobby. If Roman's supposed to have approached him, right, or Roman's people, right? And he's straight in the media. I don't want him. He's 86, right? He could be dead in 18 months' time by the time the deal's done. And it's going to be a consortium, not just him. I don't want a consortium. Look at Arsenal. That basically was a consortium, right? And that consortium were all about the money. They were all about the money. I don't want to go down the same route as Arsenal. And if we're going to develop the stadium, right, that's going to be the excuse, isn't it? Oh, well, we've got to do the stadium. We can't spend money on players. We can't this, we can't that. Okay, so I don't want a Swiss guy. I don't really want anybody American. Another name I've seen bandied about.
Yeah,
right,
you have to say that carefully.
Well, any American.
Mm.
I don't want American owners. That's not. I don't care. That's my opinion. Right? I'd rather not.
No, I understand. I was just kidding. Go ahead, Stab. So we have a few minutes to can you round up? So I have a question for Nick Blue, so we can go to the final segment and round up.
A Nigerian guy's been mentioned. I can't remember his name.
No, he wouldn't buy it. He wouldn't buy it.
He's an Arsenal fan anyway.
Around $3 billion.
He's an Arsenal fan anyway. And
Dangote,
yeah, his dreams to buy Arsenal. So the Saudi prince, is the best bet, but it also depends on how serious he is. And I should point out that he's the brother of the Newcastle United owner, right? So they're brothers.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Right. So, he wants. It's the same thing. They bought Newcastle because they want to develop their image around the world.
Yeah, because global influence.
Yeah, because of the reasons that I gave regarding weapons and stuff like that. So getting a Saudi owner, he should pass the suitability check because he's related to the other one. They've already let the other one in. Whether we think they're suitable or not is irrelevant, right? And so he'll pass that. Likelihood is he'll be okay with the government as well, for the same reasons as I pointed out before. So he is the best bet, right? Or someone like him. It should be noted that the Man City owners are not from a squeaky clean background either. So if they're good enough for Newcastle and they're good enough for Man City, they'll be good enough for me.
Yeah. So which one of them is your favorite?
The Prince, the Saudi one.
Yeah, because money isn't his problem right now. We'll be
Coach.
Yeah.
I probably should have. It came to mind that I forgot. I did actually have one name in my mind, and it was probably more of a funny one. But I heard the name Elon Musk has been thrown around. And
I'd like Musk to buy it.
Yeah, because for me with Musk, as funny as it sounds and ridiculous how it sounds as well, when Elon Musk doesn't run his businesses that well, if everyone knows, he runs it for purpose and future, and profits aren't his goal. And sometimes he needs extra investors. And if you draw some similarities with how Roman ran,
Musk is radical.
Yeah, so if Musk ran Chelsea, he wouldn't run it. He would run it in a similar way Roman did. The same way he ran Tesla and all that, and all these companies that have reached the point have been run, with purpose, not profits. So where every other group where sounds like they're investors, where he wouldn't. He would run. He would run some kind of purpose. So purpose for soccer for a football club is titles. There's no other purpose. So, or if he
just call it soccer for the purpose that you're talking about an American. Go ahead.
I gotta shoot. It's hard when I'm here. When in Australia, I gotta say soccer, and when I jump on these streams, I gotta switch it up. So
but go ahead.
It's a hard balance. Elon was my man, and it's probably unrealistic, and there's probably nothing there. But the fact that his name was thrown around, and if you are looking for an owner that he's not looking for profits, that's actually someone with big pockets, and he would run a club in a purpose. If the purpose was academy kids, that's how he run it. There has to be some kind of driven goal, and profits don't mean much for him. It's just a purpose to a goal, and that's how he runs his businesses.
Yeah, I think Musk will be more like Abramovich, like you said. I think, and he wouldn't. I don't think if he buys Chelsea, he will be buying Chelsea because he wants to make profit off of it. He would want to show that I can take this club and make it something special. I think he's an adventurer. If you ask, I don't know how else to phrase it. I think I want Musk, but I don't think there's substance to that story. If you ask me, but we'll see. If it comes, Declan, then 3 beers for you. No, I owe you 2 already, right? Nick Blue, Nick, I want to get your thoughts on this.
Can I just say,
what's that DJ comment?
Coach, can I just say one thing?
Yes. Go ahead, brother.
Big up to Showtime. We don't know what's going to happen. Can you sing the song Marina, Marina? We don't know what's going to happen to her.
He likes to sing. I love Showtime.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I wanted to ask you a question about this, but if you're saying something, go ahead. Let me find the comment from DJ.
Ask me a question.
It's about this. I wanted to ask you what you think about this comment here from DJ. Then we'll look at the tweet on the screen. Then we can call it a day with that one. Except if anybody else has any other thing to say. This message from DJ reads, don't want Swiss guys, especially with consortium he wants to bring with them. I think some of us have talked about how that's a risk, but I want to hear from you, Nick.
Yeah, I agree with DJ. Yeah, absolutely. We don't want to be another Arsenal. Don't forget what's going on there. Plus, I haven't got anything against Americans, but we don't need stuff so we can't have American owners. They're just for the money. They don't love football. Like I said a million times, we need an owner who does love football, and like Roman did, and does. So we need someone like Roman. We can't replace Roman; it's impossible. But at least someone who's not just there, who's going to be there for the money. We need him to like the game.
Hmm.
That's a, so I would take anyone who loves football, and you know, I don't want it, and plus I don't want all these Prince Prince what Prince this brother who comes from.
Bin Talal
Yeah, we
or
don't need
something.
these people. We don't need this because we're going to have problems in the future. We don't need these sort of people for sure. We just want a normal billionaire who loves the game and would, so, we'd be more or less the same like we are. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it makes great sense. That's why I like it that Roman he clearly stated in his in his statement that it's not going to be done in a rush. It will follow a due process, and also I think he will. And the client also did say something about potential buyers, bearing in mind that if they have any skeleton in the cupboard, it will most definitely surface in the future, and they start having issues just as Romania is having right now. But that's by the way. Now let's look at this. This I think this tweet here. I think it's referring to, let's say, transition. I don't think even if Marina sources have said that the powerful director Marina Granovskaya and chairman Bruce Buck would be unlikely to stay at Chelsea. But the fact is, they will not leave immediately. There will be a transition period. I don't think they will just leave the moment the club is sold. I think that will create a problem. To have some measure of consistency, I think they'd stay for a while, even if they want to leave. But the question is, should the new owner make efforts to keep them if it is possible? I'll start with you, Fahim.
With the new owner, keeping them, it depends what their plans with the club. Keeping them, I don't see I don't see as a bad thing. Um, but if you were try to, like, let's say, replace them with someone better, I wouldn't be against it either, because them two, Marina and Bruce Buck, are like Roman's two trusted people. Especially
Hmm.
Marina. Marina's been with Roman for a very, very long time, even before Chelsea. Roman had like
Yeah,
an
just
oil.
immediately after her graduation, she started working with Roman.
Yeah, so Roman had like an oil company. She was working there as well, and then she came to Chelsea. So if Roman was to like move on to another business, I think Marina would probably join Roman in that case. But I, d- I don't know. Like the new owner, for me, should be prioritizing trying to get a deal at first as well.
Here's my argument there. We've all agreed that Roman will always do what's best for the club. And we've all agreed that Roman has clearly states part of that is one of the most pronounced part of his statement is the fact that he repeated on two sections of that statement that he will always have the best interest of the club at heart. So if that's the case, I think transition period is very important. You don't want to miss anything, even though it sounds easy to get a new people, replace them and all that. No, it's not that easy. If you've led a business before, if you've worked for an organization where you're like the manager or the hiring officer, even firing somebody is not simple. Even somebody leaving because they want to leave, tender a resignation, or there's somebody who wants to leave on a good note, or no matter the situation, it's not easy. So I think Roman would want them to help to stay and help during the transition period from Roman to the new owner, because he really does have that is the betterment of the club at heart. So I don't see Roman wanting them to leave abruptly.
With
I think there will
Marina,
be, yeah. Go ahead.
with Marina, she's a great negotiator in terms of selling players.
Yep. Yeah.
But when it comes to buying players, she's not the best. But I think if you pair her up with someone like that knows football, that you pair her up with a DOF or something like that, it can work really, really well.
Well, here's what I don't want to pit you and Stav now because Stav will start a fight. Here's where I have an issue with that your statement. She's not good at buying players. She doesn't buy, and you said it yourself. She's just a negotiator. The scout says, and the manager says, or whoever says, we want this player, and then she tries to negotiate a fair price. That's all she does. She doesn't. She's not. She's not the one that buys the players. I love you, and I don't want you and Staff to start that fight now because it's never gonna end.
No, I'm not saying that she's like the reason why we're buying trash players. Like that's a scout's fault. So I think the new owner should be focusing on that more than the two Marina and Bruce Buck to try get a DOF. Try to make a football person involved in the negotiation as well.
Can you
Oh yeah,
explain
thank you for that.
scouts for me?
I think I get your point now. And I'm going to take it to Declad. And before I do that, please, if you're in the chat, please click on that like button. It takes just a second, and it won't cost you anything. If anybody asks you to pay, tell them I will take care of the bill for you. Please click on that like button, and more importantly, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Declad, over to you. What do you think about this situation here? Because even though it might sound easy to just replace them and move on, it's not that easy.
I don't believe it, to be honest. Why?
Go ahead.
How is that statement even made before anyone's come in? You know what I mean? Is Bruce Buck and I can see Marina with her ties with Roman, but Bruce Buck, he's been there for ages.
Okay.
Well, he's just going to step down.
Can I clear something, Declad? What I want to clear is this: no matter how good of a response you give now, I'm not giving you another beer. But go ahead.
Hey, I don't know.
Go
You're
ahead.
pushing me to one side again.
No, go ahead, Declad. Go ahead. You're making it great sense. That's why I'm saying. But I'm not going to give you another beer for it. Go ahead, Declad.
Okay, well, it's hard. It's hard without the chaser. With the chaser beer, but look, I read the statement, and like I said. How can you make this how can some source say these two people want to step down without anyone coming in? There could be plenty of owners that want Bruce Buck in or want Marina in as well, and there could be some that don't. Maybe want their own people in. This is a stupid statement to me to make. I think it's just made up because there's no one in here.
You make great sense there, and like I've established, transition periods for big organizations aren't that easy. There's a lot. It takes time, and I think, again, I'm sounding like a broken record now. Given that Roman always wants what's best for the club, I think he wouldn't want them to leave abruptly, even if he buys. He's planning on buying another club and taking Marina with him. I don't think he would do that immediately. He knows what she's capable of doing as a negotiator. I think he would want them to stay for a while, and I agree with you that this statement coming out even before the club is sold doesn't really make sense. But it just how do I phrase it again? It's important that we're objective and look at every possibility of what may happen to our beloved club. So go ahead, Stav. You wanted to say something. Thank you very much for that, Declad.
Yep.
Yeah, with regards to that, I agree with Declared. I don't understand what Fahim's talking about, that she's no good at doing deals, right? She's okay selling, but she's no good buying, right?
Fahim, I told you.
Bayer Leverkusen wanted 100 million for Havertz. Did we get him for the 100 million?
No, we stop. Can we talk about the statement? Well, I think you have time to fight for him, maybe on his channel when you get there.
No, hang on. Right, this is relevant to the statement, right? This is relevant to why she's important, right? When she's gone, and I believe she will be gone, right, at some point, that's when people are going to start realising. Now, Marina was brought in, right, 2010, 2011, something like that. Now, when Peter Kenyon was doing the transfers, right, every single club, for every single player we went in for, tried to screw us for more money than they were asking other clubs. Okay? Now, we paid it because we wanted to rebuild the squad, right? But after a while, Roman got sick of that, and he brought Marina in because she's a hard-nosed negotiator. Yeah, right. Now, all these people who keep constantly criticising Marina, right? You all, if she does leave, you're all going to regret it, and you're all going to find out, right? I don't think that. And another case, Chilwell, 80 million. We didn't pay 80 million for him, right? She bargained them down, right? People who
Okay,
think
stop. Can we talk about the possibility of them leaving?
right,
Whether that will
listen,
happen and how important they will be for the transition period.
nobody can say what's going to happen, right? Because I've been reading that Roman's trying to sell off his companies, and I think maybe he just wants to go away and have a quiet life, right? And spend his money enjoying his life for a change, right? You'll still see him at Chelsea games because that love doesn't go away, but it'll be away games in Europe and things like that, right? Now, he has shares in a company called Everez, right, which is UK based. Head office is UK based, right? So he's trying to sell that off. I don't know what other businesses he has. He might keep one or two to be getting the dividends and shares of them to keep building up his fortune, right? He may go and buy another club. Now, if he goes and buys another club, forget Marina staying at Chelsea, right? The man knows her value. That's why he brought her in, okay? Right? And she has negotiated some outstanding deals for sales, and she's also negotiated some outstanding deals for purchases. She got Ziyech for nothing, 31 million. That's nothing in the current climate. That's nothing. Right?
So you're saying that it's important that she stays.
I believe, right, that she should stay. Whether she does is a different matter. Bruce Book, I couldn't care about, right? I couldn't care less about because he's Roman's corporate lawyer, right? And he still works for him as a corporate lawyer. Now, I
Yes.
don't care. And the new person coming in might want to bring their own chairman in. What I want is for Roman, right? If Marina's willing to stay, is to negotiate for Marina to keep her job, right? For Petr Cech to keep his job, right? I want the new owner to make Petr Cech director of football. Right? The guy knows football. The guy gets on with people. He speaks 6, 7 languages, right? What better person? What better person for director of football? And I believe that Roman, when he's negotiating a deal, will try to get the best people at the club to get kept on, right? And it would be a tragedy if the Petr Cech was forced out, right?
Okay. Okay. Point made there, Stab. I think it's important that we'll keep him at least for the transition period, but I think she will stay longer because Roman loves the club and he will want to see it continue to be successful in terms of even negotiating fees for
Yeah, but
players.
she has to
Yeah.
want it as well. She has to
Yeah.
want it as well.
Yeah, it's a job. Yeah, especially if Roman doesn't have anything else for her, I think she stays. So that's, by the way, I think we should go around now, say that's something about the man. I'll start with you, Declan. I'd like us to please take a minute to talk about Roman, the man, Roman, the owner, and Roman, the Chelsea fan. Up to you, Declan.
Yeah, it's probably too much that could be said. He's going to be missed. Sad, and we're never going to see it. I would like to think in some fantasy world that he can end up back at the club, if that's possible. That he buys the club back again in some weird circumstances. But I think it was great. There was moments like when he picked up the Champions League for the first time, and he was there, the smile and the happy, and he's been chasing it himself. Um, yeah, we're not gonna get another guy like him, so he's gonna be very missed, and it, and we're gonna treat every owner to his standards, and they're not gonna live up to it. So
Yeah,
I hope all for the
yeah. I
best, and
think
I hope one
yeah.
day he could come back.
Yeah, I hope so in a fantasy world. Like you said, I think he's left a legacy that will be hard to measure. And I think whoever comes in, that person have that drive, that hunger for success, so that we don't relent with Chelsea Football Club. And I hope that doesn't change. That is the mentality that he has, brought into the club continues so we can get even better. Over to you, Nick Blue. What do you think about Roman the fan, Roman the Chelsea owner?
Yeah, what can I say about this man? For me, he's a legend, a hero, a fan. He's a fan like us. He loves Chelsea, and he always will. Um, I just want to. I don't know what to say. I just hope we do something for him, and I'm sure one day he will be at the bridge, and we can appreciate him and shout his name out like we used to. That'd be great. Of course, we're gonna miss him badly. You can't, we would never have a man like him, an owner like him, not in our
Yeah,
lifetime. Yeah, no, I'm very sad. This news, as you know, I'm really pissed off with these politicians and the government and everyone else against him. Um, yeah, let's hope. I hope Marina stays on and check. Like staff said, is very important. We need Peter Cech to stay. I hope he does. I hope the new owners, will keep them on. Marina is a great with signings and stuff. She knows what she's doing. And Peter Cech, like Staff said, there's no better director of football than him right now. So that's what I'm hoping for. I just want to see Roman for the last time, even if the last time, I want to see him at the bridge so I can appreciate and thank him for everything he's done for this club and country. He's done so much. Yeah.
yeah. The man himself hopes. The final section of his statement reads, "I hope that I will be able to visit Stamford Bridge one last time to say goodbye to all of you in person." Okay, but if you're in the chat, also as the panel continues to say what they like about talk about the man, the Roman. You let us know what you think about Roman. Tell us. Over to you, CFC Fahim. Please don't forget to go check out Fahim's YouTube channel. CFC Fahim has a great YouTube channel, great content, always objective, and that's how I like my content. I don't like clickbaits, and Staff himself, I'll check it, and he can confirm that it's a good, very, very good channel. If you haven't, Showtime, Fahim and I the other day was looking for you for a show. We wanted you to appear on this channel, so go check out his channel. I think he would want to invite you also someday. So now, Fahim, you tell us what you think about Roman the man, Roman the Chelsea fan, and Roman the Chelsea owner.
All I gotta say is that I wish the best for Roman in the future. With all this going, I just wish him the best. He's a good man in heart. We all know that he's a good man. He's got a good heart. One thing I'll say is that all good things come to an end. They never last forever. They all come to an end. We have to be happy that it's happened. That we have to be happy that we had 19 years of great success, and he's created memories. He's created so many celebrations, and he's cemented a great legacy at Chelsea Football Club that no one will ever forget. He's created history. a very, very long history. 19 years is very, very long. And one thing I want to see is that we have a banner at Stamford Bridge at almost in the games at Stamford Bridge. I just want to see like banners and saying that we appreciate Roman and just say a final goodbye to him.
Yes, final goodbye, and we must remember he's still alive, which is a final goodbye in terms of him being a Chelsea owner. I think, thank you very much for taking some time to say that. Again, if you're in the chat, let us know what you think about Roman the man, Roman the Chelsea fan, and Roman the Chelsea owner. So over to you, Stav. Please give us your thoughts so that we can call it a day.
Yeah. How can I put this? I agree with Fahim regarding the banner. Everything Nick said, everything Declared said. And I want to add
Sorry,
that.
Fahim channel is called CFC Fahim. Fahim, did I get that right?
Yeah, CFC Fahim.
Let me find the link and share it in the chat. Go ahead, Stav. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Right. We've heard so much about the success he brought us, but I want to add some bits to that. I don't know if Nick ever went down to our old training ground near the airport. Right. He built us a training ground with the facilities to be proud of. Right. He developed an academy that gave us so many youth cups and 2 UEFA youth leagues. Right. And just as importantly, he developed women's football to the extent that we're the best club in England, irrespective of what happens with the league this year. We are now the best women's club, one of the best academies in the world, and we've got the best club all the way through. And he gave the facilities for that to happen, and he spent his own money, and he also put something into the community. And I just can't stop. I'm getting close to tears again. And I'm just happy.
Right, so.
I'm just happy that I had the joy that time of sitting near him and seeing him in action as a football fan. Forget the billionaire for a minute. As a football fan, and when time comes, I will go and find his autograph that he gave me, and it will be going in a frame with a photo of him and joining all my other Chelsea memorabilia. That's it. But that's it for now.
Yeah, Stav, you just broke my heart again, but I'm not going to cry again today. And you're one of the lucky ones, at least you got his autograph. He's still alive. That's the most important thing. We're just celebrating him.
He didn't give me the
Unfortunately
check.
for us, he will no longer be. Yes, he will no longer be the owner of our beloved club because we love him so much. Most of us cried. It's a dark period for our beloved club, but we will overcome.
I've got just one. I just want to make one more comment, right?
Yes.
I posted this in the Facebook page, the Chelsea one that I run, right? And it went along the lines of this, okay? Roman's just binned 1.5 billion that he gave the club. Roman's going to give 2 to 3 billion to the people of Ukraine, right? You might not like this one, right? Tony Rudiger, please just sign the contract or just go. Only I didn't say it. I didn't say it before, right? Because there's no excuses. There's no excuses for rich footballers making a big living, right, out of a club we love and trying to hold it to ransom. So either sign the contract or go and sign for Bayern Munich or Barcelona or whoever, right? If it's not enough for you to be earning a good living, wearing that shirt with that badge on your chest, then go. And I don't care. The only person exempt from that is Cesare Spilicueta because he has earned the right to do what he wants to do. There we go. I'm done. I'm done.
And I think if any time in the world, if I ever hear, because of this final section of this romance statement that says, I hope that I will be able to visit Stamford Bridge one last time to say goodbye to all of you in person if it's like in a further date and I hear about it, I'm buying a ticket to make sure I make history for myself of being in the stadium the day he visited Stamford Bridge for the last time. But I think I am hopeful that it will not be the last time. I'm hopeful something happens in the future and boom, he's back again as one of us. But he will forever be one of us. I think as the owner, I'm trying to say. So, but that's with that, I say thank you to everybody in the chat. DJ Sab 17 for providing me great information even before it was DJ's information. That is the information he shared with me that led to me say, okay, I think this is important that we celebrate the man. And I think you go to other streams, I think we celebrated him in the best way. We're not we don't have high numbers here, but what we say here comes from the heart. We speak the truth here. We speak objectively. It's interactive. Everybody is involved, and that's what we like. I think we've made history today. We celebrated the man. I'd like to thank Mikhail Josviola, the queen of Chelsea Perspective. I think she's still a secondary to Strip Beer herself, one of the queens of Chelsea Perspective. Almighty Blues Ankit, my friend, and congratulations again for getting monetized, brother. I celebrate with you, and I'll get there soon myself. Who else? Showtime, great time. I won't miss you. Everybody else that's come. Chichi Eze Net Dialogue, God bless you. I said hello to Chichi Eze in my native language. Who else? It's Spot VJ, Sportswire declared. I'm not going to say anything to you. You're on the panel declared. And I love you all, and thank you for providing so much value to this stream, to this Blue Morning. And I hope to see you guys tomorrow for another Blue Morning show. Thank you all, and God bless you. Bye.